Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you have a 500 credit score, but you have some revenue in the business, I'm going to show you some of the best places you should take a look at to get a business loan. All right. Now, the first one is Lendeska. All right. And so Lendeska is a platform, but as you can see, they offer freelance cash advances. All right. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. Their loans start as low as 20%. Okay. And so that's not bad, especially when you have bad credit, because they're not looking at the credit, they're looking at the performance of the business. And this is one thing I continue to tell the community, even if you have bad credit. But if you are operating a business, you have the right business structure, you have the right business bank account, you can get funding. Even if you're coming out of a bankruptcy, but the business is making money, you can get funding. Now let's look at this. They loans up to 20,000 up to 18 months, all right? Now, here's something that you should know. The minimum requirements for Lendeska is $25,000. All right. What's that? 22? Maybe 2150 or something like that. So that's less than $3,000 that you have to make a month in your business with a 550 credit score. All right. But at the same time, 90 days in business. Right. So you don't have to be in business a long time, but this is the minimum annual revenue. So that's less than 3,000. So you've been in business for over a year, but you making less than $3,000 a month. Lendeska can help you get a loan. All right. So this is a platform. And I think that many people, again, I cannot stress this enough, it's not that institutions don't want to give you a loan. It's because you're not properly structured and registered as a business. Another place that you can get a loan with bad credit is Stripe Capital. Okay. And here's the basics of it. 3 months or more, right? $5,000 minimum per year. So you don't have to have a lot of income, $1,000 for the last 3 months. So you're not having to make a lot of money for to get a loan. Now, depending on the type of business, that may be a challenge because you may have a high risk NAICS code. All right. Now, with some of these lenders I'm talking about, these are like e-commerce, but I have other lenders that I'm gonna share with you in a minute. But at the same time, just keep in mind, because you have bad credit, that's not keeping you from getting a loan. It's because you may not have revenue coming into your business as frequent enough in order to qualify. But there's lenders out there that will give you money with bad credit, especially a 500 credit score. Now, you heard me mention about Fundo and their merchant cash advance up to $10,000. Again, many people don't understand that when you trying to get a loan, all right, if a lender actually sees the performance of the business, they'll overlook the credit just to be able to work with you. Here's some of the basic things that I definitely want to share with you with this type of loan, because many of you all see me talk about this company before. Now, they don't work in New York and in California, but these are the type of businesses. So if you're a freelancer, contractor, small business, or seller and franchisee, this is the type of lender that will be willing to work with you. All right. Now, keep in mind, when you have bad credit, I don't care where you go, you can't go to the banks. And here's another thing about choosing banks that many people don't understand. Many people will go to Navy Federal, all right, and they will do $10,000 a month in Navy Federal, over $100,000. However, Navy Federal is not reporting those business transactions to the Business Credit Bureau, right? So then, when you actually need a loan, let's just say you need a $5,000 loan and you try to go to Navy, they're not going to give you a loan. That's the reason. And because if you try to go to another bank, because you don't have a business credit file, now you just made it even more challenging. Okay, because there's no revenue coming into business. They can't pull up your business credit file to see what type of revenue you're making in the business. Now you may can download your bank statements and look out for some other type of lenders, but most of the lenders, they want to actually tap into your business bank account to see the real deposits. All right, so that's the reason I was bringing up Fundo, because even if you're with Navy Federal, if they're able to tap in to see that there are deposits, they still will work with you because it's a real active bank account. But just keep in mind, like with credit unions and community banks, they're not reporting to the business credit bureaus. I'm talking about like with Experian, Equifax. Uh, some of them will report to Small Business Financial Exchange. All right, but when it comes to like Dun and Bradstreet, they won't report. And the thing about it with Dun and Bradstreet, 90% of the banks do not look at Dun and Bradstreet files in order to determine if you're going to get funding as well. So just keep that in mind. Another place, if you're in the e-commerce space, is 8Fig, right? So 8 figures. And this is their basic criteria: annual revenue of 100,000 or more, 3 months. So they make it very simple. But again, you would see these type of lenders, they're not looking at the credit. 8,000 in sales, they're not looking at the credit. My point is that don't expect for it to have to show, well, what's my credit score? Here's the thing about it. These type of lenders, they're looking at the performance of the business. Now, you do have some lenders, when you put that information on the paperwork, they're wanting the EIN. If they want your social, what they're doing, they're going to be looking at third party credit bureaus, and they're trying to figure out if you're committing fraud. So they're going to probably run a check with LexisNexis, Clarity, which is owned by Experian, DataX, which is owned by Equifax. Okay, so they're going to check Factor Trust, which is owned by TransUnion, and they're going to check Teletrack, which is owned by Equifax. They're going to check those third party to see if you're actually committing fraud. Then again, they're also looking at the bank accounts. That's the reason they use the software Decision Logic to be able to check into your bank account to see if you actually have a real bank account with the numbers that you're actually putting on paper. That's the reason I tell people you have to be very careful what you put on an application because of the new softwares. They're able to check. Another place for you to get a business loan, if you have a minimum of 2,500, and that's with Fair Figure. Okay, but here's the great thing about Fair Figure: not only will they give you a business loan if you have revenue at least $2,500 or more, but also they'll report that to the credit bureaus, and these are all the credit bureaus they report to. Plus, they give you another trade line for signing up for their services that monitors your business credit. So they will actually give you two business trade lines. This is the reason why I tell people a lot of times people think that they need 10, 15 different business trade lines to get business credit funding. And that's not true. You can go in with a business that's making very minimum revenue with some of these lenders and they'll still give you a loan. Another lender that I've been talking about for a while is Giggle Finance. Now, as you can see, they offer up to $5,000 for their loan, but you also know that it has nothing to do with the credit as well. All right. Now, I usually would tell people that you should have your income between 1,500, 1,200, and up in order to qualify for these type of loans. But it's 90 days in business. All right. So you have to show you have deposits for at least 90 days. So again, it is not about the credit. So don't worry about the credit. But the biggest thing you have to worry about, I would tell you, because you're leaving money on the table, is not properly structuring the business, not putting yourself on payroll. And both of those things we can help you do. If you type payroll below, I'll send you over a link so you can schedule a one-on-one consultation or click the link in the description. You're missing the opportunity to raise capital for your business even when you have bad credit. Another place you can get a loan without the credit score is through PayPal with the PayPal working capital. Okay, so These are the basic criterias that you have to have. And as you can see, again, the process at least 20,000 annually. $20,000. So you're looking at what? Less than $2,000 a month that you have to make in order to qualify with them. And this is not off of the credit. They're looking at the revenue that's actually coming in, the transactions and everything. Now, this is why I continue to tell you guys in reference to PayPal. If you open up the right checking account, say you open up the checking account with Chase and you have payments or you're doing invoices, do those invoices through like PayPal or Stripe, and then transfer that capital from PayPal or Stripe over to like Chase because Chase reports to the business credit bureaus. So now it puts you in a position so you can get higher loan limits with Chase with their business credit cards, with their business loans, with their business lines of credit. All right, that's just one institution. But if you play the game like that, you'll always have access to capital. All right. So if you guys have any question about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.